In this video, I will show you the 5 players that you need to succeed for the kickoff of the NFL and FanDuel single game contest on Thursday, September 10th in 5 minutes or less. My name's Quick Pick Nick, and by simulating thousands of lineups, calculating projected fantasy points, and writing a brand new program, I'm here to give you your locks and lotteries for the matchup between the quarterback who got paid $500 million over the offseason of Patrick Mahomes and the quarterback who somehow got paid more per year of Deshaun Watson. To start off with the MVP and main lock of this lineup, my model recommends taking Patrick Mahomes as your first player. Not only did my model project Mahomes to score more fantasy points than any other player in this slate, but my model also suggests that Mahomes is the most underpriced player available, meaning that even at the steep cost of $16,500, he is still coming at a discounted price compared to that which should be expected from a half-billionaire. Since we obviously want to put the player expected to score the most fantasy points in the MVP slot, since unlike DraftKings, there is no cost penalty, Mahomes is locked in for this slate. As for the second lock of this lineup, my model recommends the second quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Even though taking Mahomes and Watson eats up more than half of the budget, out of the nearly 8,000 lineups simulated, the top 5 options ranked by overall expected fantasy points all included Watson. After taking a closer look at the data myself, it is clear that Watson is worth the extra cash, as he and Mahomes are the only 2 players who are expected to score north of 20 points on Thursday, with the next highest scoring option of Tyreek Hill projected to score somewhere in the range of only 15 points. The drop-off between Watson and the rest of the cast is significant enough such that he warrants using up a quarter of the budget at this one position. These 2 players in particular cannot be ignored due to the fact that there are no other options that even come close to their projected values, which is why they are the only 2 locks in this lineup. Before getting into the lotteries though, one player who I would consider a limbo pick is Tyreek Hill, meaning that he's not quite a lottery, but still not a lock. Hill is ranked 3rd in terms of expected overall fantasy points, behind Mahomes and Watson, but still ahead of Travis Kelce, who is priced $1,000 higher than Hill. Hill isn't necessarily as underpriced as Mahomes or Watson, but he is still the next best option before yet another tier drop-off. After Hill and Kelce, who are projected at 15.5 and 14.5 fantasy points respectively, David Johnson comes at 5th, starting a new tier with a projection of only 10.5 fantasy points. We can't take both Hill and Kelce, but if we want to take one of the players before this drop-off, Hill is recommended given his expected fantasy output as well as his cheaper cost. Finally, for the 2 lotteries, my model recommends Duke Johnson and Mecole Hardman. Johnson is the most valuable low-cost option in this slate. Clocking it at only $8,000, Johnson serves as a receiving threat type running back in Houston. Although David Johnson will clearly be the starter and Houston's main guy, as the Texans literally gave up one of the best wide receivers in the league and then some for him, Duke Johnson has already proved that he can still be effective even if he isn't behind center, recording about 75 targets in the 2019 season. Hardman makes the cut in our last slot because of his utility as Kansas City's second wideout. After Hill and Kelce, Hardman is a valuable passing threat for the Chiefs and is expected to take up a similar role to that of his beginnings of the 2019 season. Plus, he is the best option given the remaining budget. Now, this is the finished lineup that my model suggests is the best in terms of expected fantasy points, but since these lineups are shorter, I figure I throw in a few other players you might want to check out if you want to make your own lineup. If you don't like Hardman, Kenny Stills is an alternate receiver on the other side of the ball who costs exactly the same but will face competition in a locker room with Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, and Randall Cobb. A second player you may want to check out in a differently formatted lineup is Sammy Watkins, who is a very valuable player given his price that wasn't able to make the cut given the tight budget constraints. Watkins is expected to score 10 or more fantasy points on Thursday, which is more than what can be expected from any other player at the $9,000 range or below, and can be worked into a lineup similarly to mine, either by dropping Watson or Hill and reformatting from there. I'll still be going with the first lineup personally, as that is what was ranked first among nearly 8,000 simulations in terms of expected fantasy points. If you like fast-paced calculated content like this, be sure to subscribe and stick around for more fantasy lineups throughout the NFL season. Again, this has been Quick Pick Nick, the intersection for sports, data analysis, and speed. Thanks for watching.